Hello everybody and welcome to this new episode of Q&A Your Time. I'm trying to do this every week, and this week I have an interesting question by somebody with a beautiful name, Juno1849. And he or she asks, "Hi Wim, thank you for the videos. You have a lot of books. Maybe you can recommend a couple on Baroque performance, on practice, or just music in general." Great question, thank you for that. And indeed, I have a lot of books, and in fact, I'm collecting books since I was in Amsterdam on my 18th year, and I just cleaned my bookshelf and my library, so to say, and a lot of books, and I can show you, are waiting to be sold again because I had too many. If you ask me to recommend two books on Baroque performance as a keyboard player, I would think immediately on the two greatest sources of the 18th century. So the first one is a very well-known CPEBach's Versuch über die wahre Art Clavier zu spielen. Here you have the Facsimile edition. It's written in 1753. You can see it. If you can read German and you can read this kind of print, it's great to read. Actually, it's very difficult to read, but it's great to have because that's the original source. Then you can get the recent reprint, which is printed and edited by the Packard Institute, the CPEBach.org. I put all links below. This is really great because it's very scientific and it's great actually. And there is a 1949 English translation. It's not that expensive, so if you cannot read German or if you prefer to read it in English, it's actually very well done. So that's really recommendable. If you're interested to know what this book is about and not really willing to read it by yourself, it might be of your interest to know that from September onwards I will be close reading this book on YouTube in a lengthy series of videos, most probably with the title CPEBach in Pieces. So that series will contain all short videos in which I will read passages and go through the whole book, comment on them, demonstrate and just give personal reflections on that. So by the end that we all have gone through this wonderful book of CPEBach, which is one of the greatest composers ever, and I think he deserves that status. Another important book is this one. Daniel Gottlob Klavierschüle oder Anweisungen zum Klavierspielen für Lernenden und Lehrer. This is a facsimile edition, Berenreiter as well, so if you can read that, it's great. Türk wrote this in 1789 and actually is to be considered as a second generation Bach student. He was a bit old-fashioned in his time, but it's great that in 1789 he clearly devoted such a huge work on the clavichord playing, because he clearly connects Klavierspielen, keyboard playing, with clavichord playing. So this is interesting, not only from the time he lives in, but because he clearly connects his work with that of CPEBach's. And compared to that of Emanuel Bach, Gottlob Türk goes much more into detail. And actually, when we finished with CPEBach, I plan to do this one. I think it's available in an English translation. It has been translated into English. I didn't find a recent edition, but what I find I will put in the link below. My assumption is that it's not easy to get. The German edition, the facsimile edition, of course. And if you know if this is available in a recent English translation or a recent German modern typesetting edition, please put the links in the comment boxes. It might be of service to others as well. So those are the two books that I really would recommend reading if you're serious about Baroque performances. They are primary sources, and there is a lot of information that can be taken from it. And again, if you are interested in a close reading together with me on CPEBach, the best way that you can follow the updates for that project is to opt in for the newsletter and updates. You find the link below, and you'll get the free MP3 of my version of Bach's Inventions on top of that. So thank you, 1849, for this interesting question. If you have your own questions or just want your opinion on something or my opinion on something, don't hesitate to let me know, and I'm happy to address this in this series of Q&As. So thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing and sharing this video as always, and we see each other next week again. Bye.